Welcome everyone to another private Q&A chat for this Friday, July 9th. We have a couple of questions and we're gonna go ahead and start looking at them. So I think I'm gonna take this question first because I think it's just quicker to answer. I usually like to put orders on an exchange anticipating a big drop, and you mean limit buy orders after a big drop. What is a better strategy in your opinion, setting staggered orders from 30,000 down to, let's say, 24,000, or put everything around the middle? That's a really good question, and I personally don't have a preference. I don't like to buy on the way down. Okay, so when I was an active-ish trader that's constantly looking at the market, I am waiting for the move back up unless it's a catastrophic drop. So what I would do is I would, let's say, put a big order in on the low end of your expected range. So something between 24 and 26,000. So I would stack a bunch of orders there. It's up to you. Do you want to put 26, 25, 24, everything at 24, everything at 26? So I would put a bunch of them way down there. Otherwise, I would buy above that if I believe that we have bottomed and not hit that metric. So basically what I'm saying is I would not put buy orders at $30,000. I wouldn't put buy orders at 31. I wouldn't put them at 30. I wouldn't put them at 29. I wouldn't put them at 28. Maybe I would put them at 27. But I would not put any buy orders in, even into the future, other than a new noticeable swing low. We discussed this at detail in the last private Q&A. And if you were not in the last private Q&A, this Sunday, it'll be out. So please watch it. It won't really change much. I doubt Bitcoin would crash down to that area by Sunday. But I talked about what I think about the market and the bottom of the current market. So if I was to do something like that, I would only start at 27 or lower. And between 23 and 27, I don't think it really matters that much how you do it, whether you stack them or you put them all at one number. It's not going to make that much of a difference either. Probably stack them, like you can go 27, 26, 25, like split them up into quarters. But if you don't reach that area, I would start buying on the way back up, right? Like the break of 37,000 would get me very interested and in going seriously long in this market. Okay, how is the unlocking of GBTC on the 19th affect Bitcoin? I honestly don't know. I have no idea how it's going to affect it. My best guess is it will not affect it at all. Okay, so let me go back to the chart. And because GBTC has a negative premium, it doesn't make sense to sell the GBTC from the great scale unlocking. Because if you think the market is ready to bounce and you're going to be holding GBTC and profiting, if you're going to be holding Bitcoin and profiting from Bitcoin, the best way to do it is through GBTC because it is 10%, 11, 12% undervalued versus spot. So you're already in the best position to profit from a rise in the price of Bitcoin being GBTC. So it makes absolutely no reason to sell it. It's kind of like, you were just inherited a house, but the housing prices have just dropped 30% for some crazy reason that will eventually recuperate the 30% short, time horizon force that dropped the price of your house. Maybe it's the COVID situation, whatever. And you're just going to sit on that house. You're going to wait for it to recoup the 30% that it should not have lost due to some crazy market forces, unless you have no choice. Like, for example, if you're getting divorced and all of a sudden the real estate prices in your area drop 30%, and you know they're going to recover, but the divorce is forcing you to sell the house, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, it's possible that some people will be selling, but not by choice. They're going to be only selling it if they absolutely have to. And I think the number of those people is going to be small. The other good news about that, if I go to Lynn Alden's Twitter, because she did a great write-up on GBTC, but it's now been a while ago, so I have to scroll for quite a bit. Oh boy. All right, this was not the most efficient use of time. I don't know how people have this kind of time to put out this much analysis. I envy them because I sure as hell don't. All right, I can be scrolling forever, but oh wait, I'm all the way in May. Hold on. Maybe I just missed it. All right, anyway, I can't find it now. So the point is that Grayscale has not bought any additional GBTC in about 6 months. So that means this potentially is the very last unlocking there can be. And that is very bullish. There's not going to be any more unlockings. So from this point on, after this last unlocking, like I don't know if there will or won't be any more in the near future, but the number of unlockings is coming to a minimum because Grayscale hasn't bought any new Bitcoin into the trust because of the negative premium. So that is a very bullish sign that there won't be, this might be the very last one for a while. Do you still see us going down to 25,000 or so, and perhaps how soon? Yes, and soon. Look, I don't want to put a number on 25,000, but I will say that I am expecting us to make a new swing low. And the current swing low is around 28,600. So I'm still expecting us to make a lower swing low this summer. And this summer is already, a month in, almost. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So you got maybe 6 more weeks, and I think this low will be broken. How low are we going to go? No idea. It can be 25. It could be 27. It could also be 22. Head and shoulders on the daily, similar to the big one before. I don't know. I'm not feeling the head and shoulders, guys. I'm not feeling the head and shoulders. I still have like this chart up. Like, is this a head and shoulders? Not really. Not to me. Like to me, it looks more like this. You had like multiple tops that are slightly, off center. You just have like this move down. I think we're sitting around here somewhere, or maybe here, like here. Not feeling the head and shoulders. How high could it go before we drop? Not very high. Not high at all. I think if we stabilize above 37,000, I don't think we're dropping. Like, I really think that if the drop comes, it has to be soon. So if we stabilize above 37,000, that's going to take time. That's going to take time away. stabilizing above 37,000 into the end of the summer removes my probability of a big drop. The next halving is coming. We're already, 1 year since the halving. The halving was last May, and we're already in July. So we're already a year and change since the halving, right? So not a lot of Bitcoin to go around. So I expect the drop to come before breaking this line of $36,500. Like if we break the prior swing high, the drop becomes unlikely. And the probability that this was the low becomes the high probability. As long as we stay under the prior swing high, the drop is very likely. Not very likely, but like more likely. Now, you can be extra cautious and use this as the prior swing high. And then you can say, as long as the price of Bitcoin stays under 40,000, the drop into the mid-20s is likely. But if we go above 40,000, I'm going to give a drop below 28,000 like a 15% chance of happening, ever. What is your take on the whole situation with the EU thinking about ramping up KYC and introducing mandatory wallet registrations? Only fun. No, it's real. Actually good for the space. No, it's bad for the space. It is also, did you guys see the news today? EU wants to ban proof of work mining. They want to do what China did. So it's incredible how the Marxism in the West, and by West, I mean Australia, Canada, United States, and all of Europe are like salivating at the mouth of what China's doing. They love it. They wish they can do what China does. I mean, they wish they could surveil. They wish they can anal swab people. They would love to be China. They like you see it. I mean, the communist from California, Sherman, yeah, in the Senate hearings, he's like, we should be more like China. I would love to get on my knees and let me not say that, but because I can get my YouTube video banned for what I'm about to say. That's what he basically wants to do to the people in charge of the Chinese government. The West wants to be more like China. They want to be like China, and yeah, this is serious. They do want more surveillance. They do want more KYC. They do want more restrictions on everything. And I think it's a problem. It's a problem for freedom. I will happily, give up. I will happily never promote Bitcoin again if people of the world actually had freedom. Like, because then Bitcoin wouldn't be needed. You won't need it, But yeah, so it's a big problem. Which is also kind of ironic, right? So you have the EU government that wants to ban proof of work mining, but they're totally in favor of proof of stake. And then you have these crypto people that are so dumb that believe that proof of stake is a better blockchain. And they're actually on board with the government plan to ban proof of work. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, next question. Maybe we'll get back to price. Can you take a look at the stock FLT? On TSX. So that's the Toronto Stock Exchange. Oh, that's the drone delivery thing. Whoa. Whoa. What happened there? Because I'm pretty sure if I looked at this yesterday or Wednesday, I would not have been bullish. I would not. I remember looking at this, but I don't remember what I said. But yes, there was a weekly MRI buy. And I think I would have said if I was long, I would hold it. But if I wasn't long, I wouldn't buy it. And if I happened to be short, I would probably hold that as well, maybe. I don't remember what I said. Beautiful. Wow, look at that. Holy shit. Whoever trusted the weekly MRI on this did well. Now, I actually, I may have to rewatch my own private Q&A. I think we talked about it in private Q&A. Can you, whoever asked me about this, can I give you mic privileges? All right. Hey, Jay, can you remind me if you're the one that asked me about this before?
No, actually, I was asking about this stock. It's Jovita.
Right. Oh, hi, Jovita. I'm actually not sure who's male or who's female from like just usernames. It's not always obvious. So did you ask me about this in the last private QA?
I did ask you about it. I didn't hear your answer, so that's why I asked again because I wasn't able to rewatch it yet.
Oh, but you did hear it in real time, no?
No, I don't know what happened. I think my phone was being weird, so I didn't hear it in real time.
Oh, okay, because I was like going to you to tell me what I said about the stock last time, because this was only like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was the last Q&A.
Right. The irony is I don't really have a good way to watch it either because I record these private sessions in the Zoom cloud. And then I have like a friend that downloads it and like merges them together and then publishes it. So it's like it's a pain in the ass for me to go back and watch it also until Sunday. But are you holding this thing?
Yeah, I bought some on the second consecutive weekly 9 red. The second consecutive like red 9 weekly.
Right, you got it on the second consecutive MRI. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was holding it. Yeah, I think some news came out about them getting a contract, but I didn't know that was coming.
Right, but it's funny how that worked out really nicely.
Yeah, it did. And I saw the extension A, so I wasn't sure, or the extension CNA, so I thought maybe it was a good time to buy.
Right. So I'm very curious on what I said about this thing. So once the video comes out this Sunday, I'm gonna try to rewatch it. But I mean, chalk it up to luck a little bit. Not really luck, right? Because you did get in for TA reasons. But what happened right here, right? Like this daily situation would have gotten me a little bit nervous. It really depended on my risk management. Man, I'm curious what I said about this thing. But hey, great job staying patient and trusting the MRI on a weekly scale. I think I would have said I would have definitely got in over here or over here, but I would not have gotten in any other day. Like the only days I would have got in is on 29th of June. And the only other day I would have gotten in is like the 5th of July, because it would have been a big update off of another MRI signal. But if I had missed my entry on this day and this day, I would not have got into this on any other day. So those would have been my only 2 days of entries. Now, had I got in, as long as my stop loss didn't get hit, I would have stuck with it. Where would that stop loss have been? It's actually possible that my stop loss would have been just below the swing low. So it's also very possible that I would be crying today because I would have been stopped out right at the low yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great trade. Yeah, so as far as where do I think it's going, that's good news. And it looks like the news is still moving. What does the volume on this thing look like? Man, one of these days, I'm going to actually release my scripts. Hopefully before I die of old age. Yeah, see, the volume is not impressive. Volume is not impressive. Now, if this volume manages to come close to the volume on the 29th or break it, I would be comfortable holding it forward. Now, it's interesting that the volume on the 29th is red and not green. That is interesting. I would have thought that the tone-based volume would have made this green. It must have just missed my parameter to be green. I'm a little surprised. This volume should have been green. It was also, yeah, and it was right there. Right, but it was also a green candle. Interesting. But yeah, if the volume today matches the volume of this candle, I would be somewhat bullish on this a little bit further, but don't press your luck too much. It's already a great trade. You're already up. 15% in just a couple of days. That's awesome. All right. If an IPO does not meet your 50% drop condition, at which point does that condition become irrelevant? Good question. So as an example of that, so we can look at, so here's how we can do this. We can look at Lyft and Lyft IPO. I can just go to the weekly chart. Lyft IPO certainly dropped 50%. Right? It dropped 50% here, and then it dropped all the way to 80%, right? Now, because a Lyft IPO dropped almost 50%, literally in its first 2 weeks, the people at Uber were smart. The people at Uber said, how about we undercut our opening price instead of overshooting, right? So when you look at Uber IPO, Uber IPO went up initially, but then COVID thing kind of took it down, right? So let's ignore COVID. So the Uber IPO only fell 38%, okay? So in this particular case, it was obvious to know that Uber had a low probability of going down 50%. And the reason is because of the environment. People were so happy at the price at which Lyft opened, and people were very pissed at the price at which Uber opened. People were angry that Uber shares only opened in the $40 range and not $140 range. So you can almost see by the hype whether you're anticipating a 50% drop or not. Coinbase, I was certainly anticipating a 50% drop because of the hype of the IPO and opening at $300. Now, the price of the open doesn't actually matter. It's the hype involved in that opening. Now, other than that, the price has to drop at some point. You can see how Uber starts to go up, but then it drops. So basically, once the price starts significantly rising off of a drop at some point, nothing goes up forever, right? At some point you go up and at some point you drop. We can go all the way to the Google IPO, which was one of the best properly timed IPOs. And we can go, all the way back to the year 2004 or something. Where's my history? Oh, okay. Where's my history? Go to the Amazon IPO. $98. That one wasn't timed as well. Google waited. Google waited. You know, that's a bad example because this was the height of the bubble. I really want to do Google. I mean, is there another way I can look at Google and try to get its history? Boom, there it is, found it. Yeah, 2004, that's better, right? So like here, the IPO'd, they didn't really dip, they went up, so you missed it. Then you have an MRI top that helps you identify a top, and then you consolidate for a year, right? So you have to wait. You just have to wait, right? And then right here on this green star candle, out of consolidation, you finally have a buy opportunity. Like based on the way I trade, I would not have the first time I would have considered buying Google would have been April 2005. Like I would have missed all of this, right? Because, and how much did I miss out? I missed out on a doubling. Okay, so what? Who cares? I missed out on one doubling, right? But then I can get in right here. And at the least, I'm good till the next MRI top and consolidation, which is 50%. And then the same pattern repeats itself into the next top. So again, I can go to there, and there it is. I got my doubling. You know, I made 100%. So you wait until either a correction through time or a correction through price, and then you buy the breakout. That explain it? Hope so. Do you think the government's goal is to become a totalitarian state? Yes, of course. That is actually the goal of every government. That's the goal of every government. I mean, there's no other reason. I mean, the more powerful you get, the more paranoid you get that someone is out to get you. And the problem is that if you try to create like a free-ish state for the people, the Marxists and the communists, they try to take advantage of that and get elected. Like look at Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, who got legitimately elected on the promise to eliminate corruption. And then look what happens, right? So the Marxists and the communists in government, they lie. They straight up lie so much more than the capitalists. They're the real liars. And they lie in a way to get your emotions to vote for them. Or they hide the fact of their true agenda, right? So we can take something like Canada, for example, and Trudeau in Canada, who is a very liberal, very pro, let you smoke your marijuana candidate. But okay, great. He's turned the country into North Korea, but you can smoke your weed. Enjoy smoking your weed in the house that you can't leave. So that's the problem. And I don't have a good solution for this problem at all. Like, I don't know what a good government system is. You can try to do it. I mean, the more freedom of guns you have, the harder it is for the government to enforce their will. That comes with its own problems that the communists get to demonize, and that's why they want to take away your guns. So it's, like I said, I don't know a good solution I also haven't thought about it enough. I just know bullshit when I see it. Same thing with the US election. The people that cheated in that election, they don't care. Like, they're there for the greater good. Like, they'll never admit that they cheated, but they cheated for the greater good. They see Trump as so evil, and people that support Trump so evil, that the measures needed not to have Trump in power are more righteous than people's choice. So look, the reason why, the main reason why I'm against cheating, look, I don't care. I mean, it bothers me that Biden won, but if Biden was going to win, I want him to win fairly. It's like one of my friends, and she texted me like right after the election, and she's like, well, because of the cheating, I can't make a proper assessment how many communists are actually around me. And that's the problem. The problem is that I prefer honesty so I can properly gauge the information. Like, so I don't know. I don't like if I felt that Biden won honestly, I would be more interested in getting out of the United States completely and never coming back, because it tells me that there are too many socialists and communists in America, and it's not a place I want to be. But if they actually cheated to a huge degree, there is a chance that the next election could go in a different direction, right? There is a chance that thousands, if not tens of thousands of Republicans are going to come out and watch the voting booths. They're going to be poll watchers. They're going to, try to prevent the cheating. And it's possible that because of how egregious the cheating was, that the Republicans are going to take over the government in the near future. So, and I'm not all that happy with Republicans, right? They have their problems too. I wish they were more pro-drugs, pro-weed, pro-all drugs. I wish there were, less, Jesus is going to help us. Like, that's what bothered me, right? Because remember, I was there on the 6th. I was there in November. I was listening to all those rallies, and obviously all the Republicans were speaking, and they were all like, God is on our side. God is going to make sure we win, we win and we prove they're cheating. No. God is not going to do any of that, right? Like, good lawyers and good research is going to do that. If you spend, if even half that time you spend talking about how God is going to help you, and you converted that time into proving with evidence that there was cheating, you might have actually won. So there are things about Republicans that I'm all about freedom of religion, but I'm sorry, but God on your side is not what won you the football game. Like the athletes always praise God when their team wins, and they never blame God when their team loses, right? Like no, God did not help your team win. Your athletic ability helped your team win. So that's the thing. That's the thing that does bother me about the Republican Party of the U.S. And they need to be a little bit less praise Jesus and a little bit more smoke a joint, even though I don't even do that. And then they would win every election. So where was I going with that? Yeah, so the problem with the cheating is that I don't have a good assessment. I don't have a good assessment of what's actually going on in the country. What do you think is needed for coin to go to all-time high? Well, that's easy. Bitcoin price has to rise. Like, as Bitcoin price rises, Coinbase makes more money. I mean, that's all it's really needed. It's a proxy for the price of Bitcoin. Do you see a symmetrical triangle forming on the daily time frame for the stock TTCF? Oh, let's see. What the hell happened there? Hold on, I'm gonna go back to the weekly chart. Whoa. Tattooed chef. I have never heard of this. I have never heard of this. I'm gonna Google this, then I'm gonna go to screen share. No, I'm not on screen share. Tattooed chef. What is that? I want to go to screen share. So Tattooed Chef is plant-based foods for people who give a crap. Nice. It's a vegan thing. No wonder I never heard of it. Cool looking brand, clearly good branding. There is the veganism is spreading. The horrible for the environment farming is spreading. All right, let me not preach my carnivalism. Let's look at the stock. That's the weekly chart. That's a giant weekly triangle. It's a massive weekly triangle. Look at that. Look at that. It's more bullish than bearish. Beautiful MRI buy over here. Hey, Jovita, are you long this as well?
Yeah, I am.
Are you vegan or is this a straight up stock play? Or do you like the company?
No, I'm not vegan. I've heard about it on some other YouTube channels, and they have contracts in Target, and they've got like, I don't know, they've got gaining a lot of popularity. So I went in long on the last, I think it was the Red 9 buy, and then
okay, I'm sorry. Over here in June or over here in April?
In June. So
Good.
yeah.
So you're about break even.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, so you held through that, right? So when it was up 8%, you didn't sell.
Yeah, I didn't have a good stop loss in, so I did make a mistake there.
Yeah, you've watched my risk management videos, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So at worst case scenario, once that gap closed and it didn't go back up, it was time to get out.
Yeah, it was.
So, and are you buying stocks or are you using options?
No, I'm just buying stocks right now.
Okay. So, yeah, see, it's a little tricky right now. I like it as a weekly play. I like it on a longer term picture, but I don't like it on a daily picture because the daily picture now has you stuck below this area and you're going into a cluster of resistance of moving averages and you did not hit the bottom of the triangle, which if I adjusted based on daily candles instead of the weekly candles is actually going to put you lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I don't like it right now from a daily perspective.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I just think there's better trades out there. Like if you can get out of this with making a little bit of money, like it depends where you got in. I would get out if it was me. I mean, I don't want to give trading advice. You can certainly hold this long. It's not a bad trade. But what I would do is I would take that capital and put it in a different trade.
Okay.
Okay. Also, how much emphasis do you put on the MRI entries?
I do put most of my emphasis on the MRI indicator.
Okay. How do you find these stocks?
I just have a watch list and I kind of go through them daily and weekly to see where they're headed and if there's Red 9 buys coming up and things like that.
All right. I got something for you, actually. Can you DM me? Because we literally have a website for the MRI alert service. And I already have a couple of friends that are using it and they love it. And I've never even used it. And it's basically you can set up your own portfolio and this website will notify you when those, you can, or you can like look at a whole list of stocks. I got to tell the I got to make sure that you can customize your portfolio. And I mean, we're going to release this to the public probably later this year. And it's a way to set up your list and not have to watch it. So it looks like this. You see on screen share. So it's a website, and it's not going to be cheap when it eventually comes out. But since you're using the MRI to enter trades, you could be an awesome beta tester for us. And you set up your own portfolio, and here is the daily, weekly, and monthly, and it shows you where you are on the MRI, and it tells you when it hits a top or it's topping. That means it's one candle before, and bullish means it's in the middle of a green count up, and bearish means it's in the middle of a red count down.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'd love to be a beta tester.
Right, and then A means it's on it's an extension A. So it looks like this. You set up a portfolio, and then it just gives you a snapshot of what the MRI looks like. You can click on the chart, and then you can see the chart. It's not TradingView library, unfortunately. That was too expensive for us to use. But once you find your thing, once you find your stock, then you take that stock into the TradingView and you do whatever.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So yeah, DM me on Telegram, and I'll set you up.
Okay.
Cool. All right. This might be the last question, guys, because after that, I'm going to get going. Yeah, this is how my friends ended up shorting Chipotle, but you can now see that it's bullish, bullish, and bullish. So I'm not sure why they did that, but because they're using this thing as well. And it's great. Like when you see bullish, bullish, bullish across the board, I'm like, hey, MRI is saying like, stay bullish the stock. But it must have had a top right here on the daily. But you can also see you're going against the weekly and the monthly. All right, last question. Did you hear about what's happening in Greece? No, I have not. People can't travel between the Greek islands without a double wax, or a negative test. I don't know what a double wax is, like 2 shots, but some shots are only 1 shot, like J&J. Look, I'm not surprised. Like it's governments don't want people to travel. They don't. Like if you are a leader of a Western country that loves China, you love North Korea more. You want the North Korean model of not allowing people to leave between zip codes. I mean, that is your goal. The people are your slaves. They cannot move. I mean, that is the goal of and none of these rules apply to the government people, by the way. In the winter, all indoor establishments will have to close, will have to choose to either accept only vaccinated people or have their capacity reduced by 50%. If they do choose to reduce the capacity to allow everyone in, then the unvaccinated people will have to pay for a test before entry. Yeah, this is why no one is going to go to Greece on vacation. At least I won't, right? But the goal of the government is to make sure every country follows the same rules. Because if Mexico doesn't give a shit about the vaccinations or the COVID test, then the president needs to go, right? And he needs to be replaced by a president that would be on the global agenda. Because if you have an area with freedom, people are going to go there, and then your area that doesn't have freedom will not, thrive. Yeah, so it's very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating. I mean, the people in charge of the European government and Canada and America and New Zealand and Australia, I mean, these people, they want a North Korean / China style control. And in order for them to actually have it, they need the rest of the world to be on the same page. Otherwise, no one will go to their countries and their citizens will leave. This is also why they have to prevent their own citizens from leaving. It's bad. I have zero interest in going to Greece. Zero. I don't think I will ever go to Canada again. Ever. All right, guys. I think it's time to get going, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Bye, guys.